If you added up how many cloth nappies you soaked, washed, and hung out to dry in a year, you'd be surprised how many cloth nappies that came to. But Snugglers Nappies keep baby drier than cloth and help keep you away from the laundry. So next change to economical Snugglers and have more time for the things you'd like to do.
Last night I had a dream. I dreamt of streets, blue ribbon ice cream. Ice cream dreams are made of this.
Creamy with more buttermilk.
Ice cream dreams are made of this.
Oh, buttermilk.
Tastes so good on its own.
While some of us in small business cling to the old ways of doing business, others have found a better way to close the sale. Get on the phone and get on with business.
Now there's a special dish John West have prepared for those occasions when you wish to dine alone. A great restaurant recipe for seafood tagliarini, which John West made from fresh prawns, poached fish, egg pasta, cheese sauce. It's the best, of course. Nothing gets left out, except the artificial preservatives and colorings. John West Seafood Tagliarini in your supermarket freezer direct from the best fish restaurant in town.
Every time I eat a Pascall country mint, I really try to resist biting straight into the cool mint centre. But it's irresistible.
What's your favourite, Pascall?
Country mints.
At Stephen Dattner right now, you'll think it's winter because our new leather range is here. At Stephen Dattner right now, you'll think it's Milan because this leather range gives you the latest European directions. At Stephen Dattner right now, you'll think it's Christmas because you can lay by your leather garment from as little as $20, beat the leather increases, and pay off your leather by the time you're ready to wear it. Winter.
I found it! Health system! A complete cleaning system!
Well, I used it in warm water because that's my normal wash. And I tried it in cold and I found it worked.
Because Omo has never had such a complete cleaning system like this before.
I never use hot water, I don't need to.
I find it's very, very good in cold water.
So I never have to put anything back in the machine.
It's all working for you.
New system, Omo's really going to wash your cares away.
Oh, marvellous, marvellous.
Here's a monster of a deal from Kentucky Fried Chicken. Hurry in now and get 10 pieces of chicken for just $9.50. Or 2 chicken fillet burgers for just $3.50.
10 pieces of chicken for just $9.50 or 2 chicken fillet burgers for just $3.50. Now from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
And if that doesn't grab you, nothing will.
Kentucky Fried Chicken's monster double deal.
It's enough to scare your pants off.
For once, Frederick, you're right.
This is National 9 News with Tracy Grimshaw.
Good evening. Prime Minister Bob Hawke has welcomed moves by the Victorian Government to curb price rises. As Anne-Marie Sparkman explains, for the next 12 months, basic supermarket items will be limited to a 6% increase, and the government will match that with a similar limit on essential services.
The government says the new campaign will help many families struggling to meet household budgets. The Prices Peg supermarket basket includes at least 150 items, basic goods ranging from bread and tea to tomato sauce and pet food. The aim to keep the cost of the total basket down to a 6% increase over the next year. The price peg does not include meat, fruit and vegetables because their prices vary depending on the season. The government charges to be kept inside the 6% limit include electricity, gas, water, motoring charges such as registration and third party, government rents and urban transport fares. Premier John Cain says discussions have already been held with major manufacturers and retailers in the grocery industry. He says they have agreed to cooperate, but if they don't...
If they make it too hot, if the increase is not justified, I think we just simply say to people, don't buy that article, buy something else in its place.
Australian bank chiefs are leaving Canberra tonight after failing to win any new concessions from the federal government on home loan interest rates. Treasurer Keating says the 13.5% ceiling on existing loans will remain. Jane Phelan has the story.
Following the meeting, the National Australia Bank's Bill Hodgson said while the talks were worthwhile, the Treasurer refused to budge on the question of total deregulation.
The Treasurer was very understanding of our position, gave us no joy at all in regard to the 13.5%.
He did say the federal government's $145 million interest rate subsidy, which runs out next month, had been discussed, although a decision on whether or not to continue it is not expected for some weeks. But the government is likely to be less sympathetic to the banks, following the release of figures showing annual growth in savings bank deposits had risen to 15% by January this year. Poor growth early last year prompted the government to introduce the interest rate subsidy to help banks maintain and increase home loan funding. When he emerged, the Treasurer again said the 13.5% ceiling on existing home loans would stay, particularly as the banks were now doing reasonably well. Jane Phelan, Canberra.
The Vatican has issued its strongest statement yet on test tube births, and it's likely to upset many childless couples, particularly Catholics taking part in the IVF program. Christopher Hill compiled this report.
In its 40-page decree, the Vatican struck out at doctors and scientists for doing the work of God. The document, described as the moral guideline to which all Roman Catholics must adhere, condemns literally every artificial method of procreation. Test tube births, embryo freezing, sperm banks, cloning, embryo experimentation or implantation, and any embryonic examination which will result in voluntary abortion. Vatican Council spokesman Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger stressed that while the Church sympathises with infertile couples, a child was a gift from God.
There is no such thing as the right to a child.
And the Roman Catholic mother of the world's first frozen embryo baby, Margaret Brooks, says the decree will not stop her trying for a second test tube child.
I will continue on the program at least for the next 12 months anyway to try and achieve that goal, and at the end of 12 months, if we don't, well, we're very happy with what we have, and if we do, well, we'll be delighted, and we hope to be able to bring that child up as a Catholic as well as we do with John.
More problems for New Zealand tonight. 2 weeks ago an earthquake rocked the North Island, now it's flooding in the south.
Large areas of Southland and Otago provinces are inundated with road and rail links cut. 2,500 residents